And we're live, coming to you from the Architect of Aesthetics headquarters in Nowhere, America, with the one, the only, the big green giant, the Incredible Hulk. How are you doing today, Mr. Hulk?
First, Hulk want to say, long time listener, first time speaker.
And we're so glad to have you on. Always enjoy hearing our listeners live and in person. But we hear you have some aesthetic problems that you would love to get some advice on. Why don't you just indulge me on what those are?
Yes, Hulk trying first time cut. Hulk want Channing Tatum body, but no carbs. Hulk crash all the time.
Ah, Hulk, yes, that's always a big issue with first time cutters. They see the carbs as the enemy. Is that been kind of your experience so far?
Yes, in Hollywood, South Beach diet reigns supreme. South Beach work for Channing Tatum, must work for Hulk too.
Aren't you afraid of losing a lot of that muscle mass you've worked so hard and gotten so angry to build?
Problem with movie studios now. Big guys don't get roles. If Hulk managed to slim down, maybe Marvel finally make Incredible Hulk movie. They can call it Magic Hulk Triple XL.
Sounds very sexy, but I don't
Hulk
know,
try.
Hulk.
Purple
I don't,
pants.
I don't know, Hulk. I mean, at the rate you're going and how you're talking, aren't you afraid that you might crash and fall off?
Hulk need tips. So far, Hulk only on this diet of no carbs for 1 week, but Hulk don't think me can last.
Okay, okay. Well, tell me a little bit about your training right now. Are you working out or what are you doing?
Before, Hulk big fan of Big Three, but Hulk realized to lose weight, to slim down, to get toned, Hulk must do lower weight, higher reps. Hulk do reps of 200, and Hulk know that cardio very important. So Hulk decide to skip barbell and hop on treadmill for 3 hours twice a day.
Oh my goodness, Hulk. How have you been feeling doing that? That's
Hulk
a
feel
lot.
terrible.
I don't blame you. That it sounds terrible to me. For one, it sounds like you've been eating very little, and it sounds like the amount of work you've been doing has shot through the roof. And to be honest, for long-term success, I just don't see that panning out very well. I mean, you're already feeling tired. It's only week one. We've got several more weeks to go. We have people come to us a lot of the time when they're looking to start a cut or just a diet. They want to jump full bore into it, and they want to add all these different approaches that may be more detrimental in the long run than right here. You know, they're looking for that short term. I want to see the progress happen now, and they think to get there, like you just heard the Hulk say, he cut out all of his carbs. He went to this very extreme side of the dieting, and then on his workout side, he cut out his muscle building, his strength, lifts, and he went all to this cardio side because we've kind of been manipulated into thinking that going straight into these extremes is what we must do if our goal is to lose weight, to lose fat, and just simply not true. I mean, John, in your first cut, what did that go? What did that look like compared to like maybe your last one that you've done now?
The very first one was very frustrating because the very first cut was the whole introduction of tracking macros, your protein, carbs, and your fat. And I remember being so overwhelmed then when it felt like I finally got a hold of carbs, then it's like, man, like fat's just too much. I can't handle it right now. Where I was definitely much more short-sighted at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that people need to realize, that hey, let's say you do one of those crazy extreme crash diets, you're really not going to be satisfied with the results from that. Even if you see a number on the scale and you're like, hey, I got to that ideal weight that I was saying I wanted to be, everything that you have to do to get to that point and how you're going to feel, you're just going to feel terrible and wrecked.
If your only goal is to like achieve a certain weight by a certain time and you go through any means necessary to get there, typically you're gonna during that time you're gonna lose weight, yeah, but and you might do it quickly, but you'll also probably lose whatever lean body mass you have, and you might have worked for, or you might have not even had it to begin with, so it doesn't look exactly how you'd anticipated. You say, oh, if I was only 180, I would be perfect, and you barely work out to add muscle. You don't do it right. You do it fast. You lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks or something, and you're like, this is not what I expected 180 to look like. You still have fat. It's still around your midsection. You don't have the abs you'd hope to. And it's because you just didn't take the time to put in the program that was going to work for you. That's going to make you successful in the long run. And a program like that typically is going to look pretty simple. I mean, it's not brain, it's not brain surgery when we construct these programs for fat loss or muscle gain. Don't make extreme changes to your diet. I really think keeping tabs on what you eat and keeping track of what you eat to get a better understanding of how much you're intaking is very important, because at the end of the day, the calories you eat matter. It's not always necessarily what calories or what foods you're eating, but the amount and your total, the total amount of food you're intaking does matter. And you're not going to work hard enough most of the time to out eat. You can out eat yourself much easier than you can outwork.
And I'll just add to that, like, people who think that, oh man, I'll just work out really hard so it outdoes what I eat. For that to actually happen, no, you don't. You don't want to be putting in that type of work. Like, it really doesn't play out like you think it's going to.
Yeah, and it's just not sustainable for a lifestyle change for the long term. And that's honestly what we're after when we set up these diets or we set up these routines for people. I might only work with somebody for 3 months, but I want them 2 years down the road to be still having progress on whatever base we started them out at. We might have started out very simple, but with progressions and whatnot, 2 years down the road, I'd love to see huge changes still, and not someone who's regressed back to what they did because we crash dieted for 12 weeks.